According to the red button, we are live. How about you, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Live call-in show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Editor for Auburn Live on 3. Today is Sunday, November the 26th, 2023. We are 24 hours removed from Auburn finishing up its regular season. They have played their last game of the season. Now we'll await bowl season. A lot of recruiting going on. We want to get to the phone lines as soon as possible tonight, 701-779-9585. But before we do, I'm going to introduce our panel who are going to help me discuss whatever you want to talk about tonight. Mr. Cole Pinkston, Mr. Jhead, how about you, fellas?
How about you?
All right. Brother. All right. Auburn's finished up at season 6-6. And hasn't got anything, any new commitments lately, but we're expecting this week to be busy. Maybe, I don't know. You know, you were to the point now where it's going to be deliberate in the timing of these things, don't you think, Jhead?
You're building momentum. So whether they've committed behind the scenes or they've given a favorable indication to the staff of what their intentions are, this is the time of the year, you're right, Jeffrey, that you're trying to crescendo a huge national signing day and trying to make sure you steal as much media exposure as you possibly can for your program to keep the limelight, make sure that continuous news cycle is going and keeping Auburn relevant, because look, we live in a society today of clicks. We live in a society today of TikToks and Instagrams and edits, you know what I mean? And what stays fresh with recruits, and it's constant headlines. And that's where we are right now. So I would expect probably a commitment next week, and then maybe another commitment, and then another commitment building into signing day. So I can absolutely see your point, Jeffrey. I think it will be strategic as we move forward and kind of how things are released.
And not necessarily limited to the 2024 class, Cole. Who are some guys you're going to be like keeping an eye on over the next, let's say, 2 weeks?
I'm muted. Sorry.
Yeah, you pulled Jeffrey Lee.
I did. I pulled a Jeffrey. Well, you got Favor Edwin. That's the one we're definitely watching right now. You've got Alvin Henderson is somebody we got to watch, because I know what he said about Florida State, and I know all that. I got you. Telling you, this kid loves Auburn. He has loved Auburn for a long time. He loves Cadillac. I feel really good about that one. Obviously, you're watching Cam Coleman. You're watching Ryan Williams. See what those guys do as far as flipping or staying, or in Cam Coleman's case, he may not end up at A&M either, or Auburn. You never know with him. Right. But Auburn seems to feel pretty good right now, and he was back again for the Iron Bowl. Everything looked pretty good there. So, you know, those are the main ones. Maybe Jaden Perlotti is a guy we continue to watch. Think he showed up around halftime. You know, that's a guy. Who knows?
Cohen Eccles, maybe.
Yeah. Cohen Eccles.
I was looking at the defensive board today. This is going to be a heavy intro on recruiting, heavy recruiting intro. But, man, Auburn could be done on the defensive side of the ball unless it's an elite stud defensive lineman, defensive back, a KJ Bolden, if he just comes out of the – you know what I mean? Like, but they could look to the portal for the rest. Auburn's got 12 commitments on defense, 5 on offense. That's 17. You're looking at, you know, adding a couple of wide receivers if you can, a couple of offensive linemen if you can, a tight end, maybe a running back. Most of the damage moving forward is going to be on the offensive side of the ball.
I would agree with that. And we even talked about that on our recruiting show. When we did a breakdown, somebody said, hey, name the next 7 commitments. Who would they be? And when we reeled it off, it was 6 offensive players and 1 defensive player. That was kind of where we are in our assessment of things and what we would have on our dream sheet if we were general managers for the Auburn Tigers.
Right. Let's see. KJ Bolden was not at the game. And that's you know what? He really did us all a favor. Like, it was a long shot at best. I don't know if he was going to give anybody any false hope by showing up again. Yeah. So as far as I know, now KJ Lacey is a name we also should be probably mentioning a little bit more than we have been.
definitely.
KJ Lacey, the quarterback, 2025 quarterback at Saraland. He's Ryan Williams' best buddy. That's his tandem duo, his partner, whatever it is. He was at the game. He's committed to Texas, but I think Cole wrote this, and I'm sure Jhead has as well. But he's the 2025 quarterback I'm keeping my eye on.
Absolutely. That is the one right now. Obviously, Ryan Montgomery from the Ohio area is somebody I'm going to continue to pay attention to, and I think he's a target worthwhile maintaining a relationship with. I saw the young man that committed to Colorado.
Antoine Hill.
Antoine Hill decommitted today, so there's another target that could be potentially back on the board should Auburn decide to push. But KJ Lacey's just kind of the guy right now. He's the one I've probably heard the most about, and I think that's the one that Auburn's kind of starting to hone in on somewhat, even though there was a new offer that went out to a quarterback out in California this past week.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet. I know how Hugh Freeze likes to evaluate, and he loves to see guys throw in person. I know they've seen a lot of KJ Lacey this past year as far as what he's capable of doing.
I meant to write this last week. I forgot about this. Ryan Montgomery, the 2025 quarterback from Findlay, Ohio, I believe. He is actually going to come down again. You know, he was at the Georgia game, I believe. He was at a game earlier this year.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. There you go. He's coming back for a full day visit, I think January the 22nd, and going to spend a full day at Auburn, getting the feel of it again, getting more time with the coaches. So I think he would be maybe 1B, but I think, you know, KJ, if you get Ryan Williams, which believe it or not, folks, it's a possibility. And if you get him, I think KJ Lacey you get Ryan Williams, I almost would put in an RPM for KJ Lacey to Auburn.
I would agree with that assessment. And typically, and Cole, I want your input here. Obviously, I'm doing a lot of talking right now, but friend deals, buddy deals, whatever you want to call them, 2-for-1s, they usually don't work, right? I mean, I think we've seen this in the past, and you know, one usually does what's in their best interest, right? Like that's typically what a kid's going to end up doing at the end of the day. These two, I think, is different. I honestly believe that. I think if Ryan Williams ends up at Auburn, KJ Lacey ends up at Auburn. I firmly believe that one.
Yes, I agree with that. And I don't know how to get a read on Ryan Williams. I think I've said this before. The guys who are overly positive and who say just about anything when you ask them questions, you don't know how to read those guys because, you know, the interview's always not the best place to learn what a guy might do.
Well, you read your story, Cole, on Ryan Williams. Then go read BOL, Bama Online's story on Ryan Williams. He's talking about we this, we that. I was trying not to cheer, and I asked him directly after the game Saturday night. Hey, who are you pulling for? And listen, Ryan Williams is the most awesome recruit. I'm serious.
Yeah,
if there's a better recruit, talk to. I love that kid. Absolutely love that kid. Says all the right things. He knows what he's doing. He said all the right things to the Auburn media. He said all the right things to the Alabama media. But if you go read, there's a stark contrast in the vibes given off by the Auburn Live story and the Bama Online story. I don't know. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Cole, but but he was we this and we that, and it was really good if you're an Alabama fan. So yeah, great kid. So yes, Cole, I hear you, buddy. You were saying.
I think he's being genuine, though. I want to make that clear. I think he's genuinely, impressed with everything going on at Auburn. I think he was impressed with the atmosphere like everybody was. I mean, they couldn't get over that. Impressed with the fight from Auburn and the quick turnaround from New Mexico State game. I mean, he went into all that, and look, I mean, then he says what he says about Alabama, and look, that needs to be looked at too. It's on both sides there. He's not talking out of both sides of his mouth. He's being genuine about both things. That's the difference.
No, he's a great kid. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that's spoken to him or that's asked around about him and gotten a bad word back as far as his character or what kind of kid he is.
Awesome, right. Awesome. Zach, I just now saw your post in the chat, dude. I didn't know that. Get us to the lines, big dog. 701-779-9585. Sounds like they're lined up, Zach, ready to talk about nothing but recruiting.
Of course.
Yeah, I think we're at almost 20 callers right now.
Okay, all right, we're gonna hit them.
Wow.
We're gonna go to our guy, Cole first. He helped us test out the call line, so we're gonna go to him first. Cole, man, you're live.
Cole will be a good caller for this show too.
Fantastic.
Cole from Knoxville, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
He is. Hey, Cole.
Cole from Knoxville. If you can't hear us, something's wrong. Call back in, big dog. We'd love to hear from you.
Cole for Knoxville, you there?
Cole, can you hear us?
I don't think it's us.
just lost him.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Made me feel better.
Maybe. Hang on. Let me double check everything. We just talked to him like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was our
having-
tester, huh? He was our guinea pig.
He was having some service issues out there in Knoxville as well when we talked to him, so that might be
5960
There he is.
live. 5960. You're live.
Oh, Edward.
that is Edward.
I'm not getting anything from anyone.
Well,
Did
Jeffrey, we might get on a tangent now.
hey, that's somebody.
Well, come on in, Edward.
Is it their start? Oh, that's computer.
That's terrible. I'll just drop it to the back. Y'all can go on y'all's tangent.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right.
About what?
Well, let's give. We've talked recruiting. Let's each do 2 minutes on the Iron Bowl. What is your impression? How do you feel about it? What's the spin coming out of it? Or not even spin. Like, what is your feeling about the direction of the program coming out of the game? Cole, let's start with you.
The direction of the program is going up. If I'd have said that after Auburn lost to New Mexico State, I would be burned at the stake. Okay, because the mob would tell me I was wrong. That's fine. And look, I couldn't see it then. I couldn't see the progress then. Nobody could. I want to say two things. Number one, Auburn came out as the more motivated team to start the game.
Yep.
They had the crowd behind them. Because at the end of the day, Alabama is more talented and has more depth of talent than Auburn. And there's no reason why they should be in a close game with Auburn. Who wanted it more? Auburn did. At the end, talent takes over, as it does in every game. You know, you make some mistakes, and the margin of error for Auburn is very, very small, as we've known all year. But I really got a good feel of what the recruits are being told, and I think that's important.
Yeah.
They're being told, you got to trust us because just watch what we're about to do here. We can coach our way through some mess sometimes. And I think they did that. I thought the play calling was masterful. I will step out on a limb and say that the defensive play calling was pretty dang good too. They hung in there. I think Hugh Freeze does a great job of not trying to put his defense in bad situations. 4th and 31 ain't a bad situation, guys. Guy made a play. That's how it ends. In a way, it gives to all the outsiders that tuned into the Iron Bowl, it just shows you, hey, when these two teams get together, it's fixing to be a wild one. It confirmed that. It don't matter, you know, where Auburn may be at, where Alabama may be at, it's fixing to be wild. And for that, I'm happy for that. That the Iron Bowl got some fight back. Because on Auburn's side the past few years, they just laid down. And Auburn showed the world, hey, you know, that's not how it's going to be under Hugh Freeze. Forget that.
I think the way it was lost is what hurts the most to Auburn fans. I think Baked Ram said it on the corner in the Auburn Live message board the best. This loss hurts worse than the 21-point loss to New Mexico State. It wasn't that Auburn lost to Alabama. We all expected them to lose to Alabama. It was the way they lost to Alabama. It's inexcusable to lose that way. And I think that's what was so heart-wrenching, agonizing. It was heartbreaking. It was when you're so close. And listen, Cole and I, we were there at the end of the game right afterwards, and we were both saying, dude, we knew. Like, I'm serious. I was in the recruits, or I was on the field in front of the recruit section and a little bit off, just kind of watching their reactions, getting some videos and whatnot. And when it's fourth down, there's a timeout, and everybody's just celebrating. I mean, people are coming up, we're going to flip this. And this girl's walking. She's a staffer. She's crying. She's so happy. And I was like, you still got to make one more stop.
Right. You got to make another play.
You still and I'm like, if y'all think this game is over, you don't know what it's like to be an Auburn fan. You don't know about the Iron Bowl. You don't know this 4th and 31. This is what the Iron Bowl is all about right here. And y'all are over here celebrating, talking about, hey, Mr. Security Guard, are we going to be able to run on the field? You got one more stop. And damn it, if it didn't happen, I mean, and it was like, I was like, I told y'all. It's not that easy.
I wrote it on the analysis, Jeffrey. I wrote it. Anybody that was with me on that, I told you, I got a pit in my stomach right now.
Me too. I just had a bad feeling. I mean, it was a bad feeling. I just knew that it was not over. I knew that it was 4th and 31, and the probability was less than 1%. But I also knew who the other team was and what the situation was in the game that it was being played.
Sure.
I knew better.
And we've seen strange finishes to Auburn and Alabama games. You mentioned it, Jeffrey. Welcome to the Iron Bowl. This is our generation's Van Tiffin kick. You know what I mean? Look, and it's not like it's always going Alabama's way in this either. There's Bo over the top, you know what I mean, to clinch one big for Auburn. There's the kick six. There are multiple games where Auburn and Alabama, and strange things just happen. It's, it can be a weird game sometimes. And we just happened to be on the opposite end of it, and it was gut-wrenching. You coined it perfectly. It was absolutely gut-wrenching to watch, and you had to hate it for Coy Moore and DJ James, two kids that laid it out there on the line, and they just, things just break the wrong way. And look, Alabama's receiver made a play, okay? Isaiah Bond, 5-star player, made a play, okay, when they had to have it, and it sucks. Nobody wants to hear that. Everybody wants to shift or place blame someplace, but sometimes guys just make plays, and that's the way it breaks. Doesn't mean we got to accept it, but I'm with Cole. The trajectory of Auburn is going forward. This, to me, was proof of concept, and I had to work that phrase in there somewhere. Sure. Was proof of concept that this team was completely bought into this coaching staff and to Hugh Freeze and what they're trying to accomplish at Auburn. Cole's right. Look at the blue chip ratio differential in between the two teams. Auburn should not be on the field with an Alabama. They were favored by 14 in the game. That probably was a little low, in my opinion, going in, coming off the loss in New Mexico State the way that we did. And yet what happens? Auburn goes out there, lays it all on the line, plays 60 minutes, about as hard and as well as they possibly could, made a couple of mistakes, but you'll live with that. For this coaching staff and this year, you'll live with that kind of effort. If guys will go out there and play like that, you can win some games in this conference. You can do something with that. Now, when you add up what we were just talking about in the recruiting aspect of things, when the talent acquisition piece meets what they're getting as far as coaching on the field and the desire and the want to and the drive by each of these players that you saw last night, well, now you really got something. So you got to make sure that you're meeting that equilibrium, and that's what they're on the way to doing with this recruiting season, because now it's closing out the high school season. It's getting into the transfer portal, and let's see where we're at next spring. That's where we are right now.
All right, Zach, you ready to give it a try?
Well, see, I know they can hear us. I can see the mic working. Edward, you there?
I'm here with you, Zach.
Yeah, baby.
Yes.
Get on in here, Edward.
How y'all doing, man?
Slide in, big dog.
We doing all right, Edward. We just doing all right.
I'm gonna need a sermon from you this weekend, brother. I'm gonna need one, Reverend.
Well, it ain't much preaching to do. You know, deep down, man, I have been saying I thought Auburn would win the damn game yesterday. It was just something to where I'm like, I've been watching Alabama play all year, and I just knew my secondary outside of the last play and outside the buster coverage, I liked in my secondary matchup there.
Yep.
And I just felt like we had enough to stay in this game, man. And I tell you what, I seen a lot of good things and the crazy part about it, I'm like, damn, what it been all year? I like they went away from the RPO style running game. It just says it's nut check time. Man, we go to a power running game. Let's run the ball. We may have the best back still in the SEC, but we hadn't really been leaning on it the way that we should have. But and we ran the damn ball. I liked it, man. I liked it what I saw, you know, and that's the whole saying. Good teams find a way to win, and bad teams find a way to lose. Right now, we play with a lot of effort, a lot of heart, but we still not a good football team.
Amen.
Well said.
It still was some situations. Everybody want to talk about the last play and why Robert called this, or they want to talk about the Cormore play. But I'm gonna take you back to where you lost the ball game. And Cole put this in his analysis. You lost the ball game when you ended up kicking a field goal earlier in that fourth quarter instead of scoring a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's where your ball game got shifted at, because at that point it was 21-20. You score a touchdown there instead of kicking a field goal. You changed the whole dynamic, because now a touchdown no longer beats you. A touchdown and a 2-point conversion still ties the ball game. I watch Alabama just as much as I watch Auburn, because everybody in my house is Bama fans. So I done watched a lot of Bama games over the years. And the common theme is teams get inside the red zone and they end up selling for 3, like Tennessee early this year. And it always comes back to bite you in the end. You score a touchdown on that drive, that changed the dynamics of everything in that game.
Well said.
I feel sorry for the kid. I feel sorry for him. I can't beat him up. That's something he got to live with for the rest of his life. And his Auburn career, to me, it just has been a good one, between the getting the ball took out your hand last year at LSU, then the interception you throw last year at LSU, until the biggest moment on the biggest stage. I feel sorry for him. I say it here. Ain't no need of me bagging. Don't nobody feel no worse than that about it than him.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to the future. You know, we get some. You know, Isaiah Barnes. Jhead just said that's a 5-star player. That's a 5-star player making a play. But when we needed that same player play, we didn't. Javar Johnson, hell of a player, but it's different levels to this, folks. When they needed a play, Miro threw it a dime. I mean, look where that boy put the ball right where only Barnes could catch it.
Yeah,
Barnes made a hell of a catch. Got both feet down. That's talent right there. That's talent. You know, hey, Ron Robin had a play the different. I mean, you run that same playback. 9 times out of 10, they don't score. It was just that 10% that they scored on. So,
yeah.
Me personally, I probably would have bought pressure, but hell, I ain't the defensive coordinator, so I can't second guess that man. He make me to do what he do. So he felt like, you know, that was the right thing to do. I know that kick returner, they need to. If you got 2 kick returners, punt returners, whatever, they don't need the same number. They need to change that, because now, how the hell you didn't know that wasn't Keontae Scott? It's that game, and he's still thinking it's Keontae. So if it's gonna be 2 returns, they can't have the same number, because he need to know who the hell in the game. And
I agree.
I didn't like that part.
Don't get me started on that.
Like, damn, how the coach not know who it was? He honestly didn't know. He honestly thought it was Keontae. He said, hell, Keontae must have took himself out. And that was I don't know.
Talk about the perfect storm.
I mean, they need to answer some damn questions too, but Let's lock this down, man. Let's lock some of these recruits down and look toward the future, man.
I hear you, Edward. Pretty good. That's a good way to get started tonight.
That was very good. Very good.
And Jay, I can respond to you. I don't need no damn bird dog, man. I put that 140 grain knowledge of kisses in the lung and heart. I don't need no bird dog. I don't need no.
Everybody needs a bird dog. Your boys aren't bougie like mine, Edward. I got bougie boys. All right, what we got, Zach? You got them still lined up?
Oh yeah, we got a.
Okay, cool. Let's get to them.
We're gonna try to get to Cole for. Oh, I hit the wrong number. Cole, you're next. 9219. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Ace from Twitter. What's up, y'all?
Hey, Ace.
All right, Ace.
What's up,
Hey.
Ace?
I see you, Ace.
Cole, I told you I was gonna call you, Cole.
You right.
Hey, and Big Pat said, "What's up, man?"
Big Pat. Oh, Big Pat.
I like it, man.
Yeah, it was a tough one, man. I just got a pizza. I ordered a pizza, man, and an Alabama fan was giving me my food. I almost punched him in the throat. But so I got a question for you guys. So out of everything that's happening, you know, the game, it had a very positive impact, I think, on recruiting. I told Cole on the stairs yesterday as I was leaving the stadium. Do you think if we had to go by percentages, what would you give each percent? Like, say, Cam Coleman, just Cam Coleman and people of that nature, you know, Ryan Williams. What would you give their percentages on flipping and committing to Auburn as of now? And if there was one transfer quarterback you could have that's in the portal so far, which one would you take? I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you, Ace. I should come up with like a content item where I list all the targets.
I knew that was coming.
Ace, you should be a member of Auburn Live on 3. You would see hot boards every Monday and every Friday, which does exactly that. I will say this, man. After last night, and after today and talking with some folks, I had Cam Coleman at 75 going into the weekend. I'm feeling a little bit better about him. I would go maybe push 80 in the morning on Monday's update. Ryan Williams, I'm sticking at 50-50. I don't think I'll get any higher than that.
Yeah.
I just don't. Even if I think he's going to flip, that's about as high as I'm going to get before he announces, unless I just get some really, really solid intel very close to his decision date, if there is one.
Yeah. I'm about with you on that, Jeffrey. To the second part of Ace's question, for quarterbacks in the portal currently, I would go with Max Johnson.
Okay.
That the A&M lefty?
Yes, the former LSU and Texas A&M quarterback, Max Johnson, is who I'd go with.
He's not a fit for what Hugh Freeze does, but I just love the Rogers kid from Mississippi State. I do, man. He is a competitor. I mean, he just fights, man.
I like Will Rogers. Jeffrey, Jhead, this is what I'm thinking here. You ready for your controversy?
Go ahead. Get into it.
Peyton Thorne's stock is going that way for me, son.
Hey, me too, Cole. What offense did we see yesterday?
And the question, listen, the question was, quarterback in the portal right now, who do you take?
Sure.
I go with Max Johnson. I think he's behind Peyton Thorne, and I think he'd make a great backup quarterback.
I understand. And here's the other part of it. Max has got some mobility to him that Will Rogers does not have. You don't have to completely change your offense if he's your backup quarterback. Whereas with Will Rogers, it's a completely different deal. You're talking about a pro-style passer that's much more in the vein of what you already have in Holden Gurner, except for significantly more seasoned. But I'm with you. Look, dude, I watched that game yesterday, and I thought Peyton Thorne showed some real guts in that game. I mean, I'm talking about, look, he's still not a game breaker to me, but
I agree.
You don't always have to have that, man. You can win with a kid that's just, you know what I mean? Hey, he just showed me a little something. He showed me some toughness I didn't know he had about him.
I don't think he knew it, Jhead. I don't think he knew he had it. I think he's figuring out a lot of things about himself, having to maneuver through a limited playbook this year. Okay, and it ain't limited because of him.
No. What's that like when you get some not legitimate, when you get some other weapons on the outside? What's it like? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because you just Edwards said it, and I want to get to our caller, but the Javarius and Javarius played a fantastic game. That's
He did.
you know what I mean. I don't want to throw stones at him, but the drop in the end zone, the Rivaldo Fairweather drop in the middle of the field, he catches that. That's at least another 3 points in that game. Just plays that were there to be made that unfortunately, and Peyton made some bad throws. He didn't make all dimes, but what he did do, I love the offense. I love the split zone. I love the quarterback run game, the toughness that they showed in that game where they just said, by God, you know what? We may not be the most talented team, but you're going to feel us tomorrow. Okay. You're going to know you played this game. And he was a part of that.
And before we go to the next caller, I'm going to take a different approach to the play script on the corner at Auburn Live this week. And going forward for this game, I'm going to go back and pick out the plays. We're going to have a whole board post on each play because I'm going to tell y'all there was some masterful play calling going on, and it needs to be talked about.
Yeah. Timely play calling. Timely. It wasn't even like there were some new things that were introduced, but the way they called it, the formatting to it, the way they dressed it, man. I mean, it was well done. I'm with you, Cole.
Absolutely.
We're going to go back to Cole from Knoxville. Cole from Knoxville, you were live.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, Cole?
Can y'all hear me?
We can. Can you hear us?
We got you.
Yep, I can hear y'all. Man, tough loss. But I feel really good about Auburn. Let me say this first. The post that came out of that game from Auburn Live on 3, everyone who posted after that game, I mean, excellent content. I'm just like, man, bump it up to $12 a month because I'll pay for that. Just good stuff, like good stuff from the recruits, all types of good stuff. Just really enjoying the content you are pumping out right now.
Thanks, big dog.
Really good stuff. Yeah,
Absolutely.
really good stuff. I really think Auburn's in good hands. I may be one of the few people that say this. I don't know, but man, when I was watching the game, and I was like, man, this is number one. This is one of the best called plays, or this is one of the best called games we've had all year. Play calling wise, I mean, just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Just masterful. I mean, motion, getting numbers, getting people in and out of the box where you want them. Beautiful. I have been on Twitter or X. I'm not all over Twitter or X. I only have Twitter for the sake of following recruiting. That's it. But man, Auburn fans, I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like confused if they have like ever really engaged in football before. Sometimes a better player just makes a play. You have the right play call. You have a good play call. Like it's 4th and 31. You drop 8 guys. They got 5 guys running routes. You got numbers, and sometimes a dude just makes a play. It's football. Just is what it is.
Yep.
And Isaiah Bond's a heck of a player, and he made a play. And I think it's just really encouraging to see that coaching kept us in this game. Coaching kept us in this game. It's not like we're matched up well talent-wise with Alabama. Not even close. Coaching kept us in this game. Defensive play calling kept us in this game. Offensive play calling too. I mean, just both sides of the ball, just good stuff. And man, I think Auburn is I think we are in prime position, man. I think we're in prime position to land some recruits because we are a touchdown away where we settled for a field goal of this being a different conversation.
Mm-hmm.
All over Auburn.
they're rolling the trees last night, and we beat Alabama. Touchdown away. And, man, I love the game that Javaris Johnson played a great game.
Mm-hmm.
Peyton Thorne hit him right in the money with it. Back of the end zone, right in the money. Dropped it. And if I'm Hugh Freeze, I'm looking at Ron Williams and be like, you see that? That's you. You can catch the touchdown that puts us ahead of Alabama. And everybody's going to remember you. I just think there's too much going good right now for Auburn fans to be worried about much of anything. Recruiting's good. We are right there. Like, we are right there with way less talented players with just some dang good coaching. And I know I've been critical of certain play calling all year long, and I stand by it. But yesterday, man, beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. And I just think that we are in good hands. And I just have one question, and I'm going to let y'all talk. When I think about recruiting these days, and please correct me if I'm wrong on this, but you guys say this pretty often. It's different now. It's not the same as it used to be. And I agree with that 100% with NIL. And also, kids are different. I coach football. I don't coach anymore, but I've got friends who coach football at a really high level in high school football, and they'll tell me straight up, kids are just not the same anymore. What do you think our staff has going for them? I know we got NIL.
Mm-hmm.
I know we got, we're on the up and up. We've got momentum. But what are these kids when Hugh Freeze walks into wherever, or Cadillac Williams or Zach Etheridge or any of those guys that are just dang good recruiters, when they walk in, what are they selling these kids personality-wise, connection-wise, whatever they're doing, for us to be in the hunt for some of the top players in the country? Because, man, 2 years ago, this wasn't happening. And it's just, what makes the staff different? What makes recruits be like, I go play for that guy? Because, I just don't know what it is. And I've been interested, I'll be interested to hear your guys' thoughts on what sets our staff apart from, say, the rest. What sets them apart? And
I can answer your question, Cole.
Man, I'm excited about the momentum. I'm excited about the days to come, man. I think we got a bright future. Really do.
Appreciate you, Cole. Cole?
I can answer your question. I got a good feel of it last night talking to these guys again, and I've gotten a feel of it all year. But after the New Mexico State loss, especially, I saw a bunch of recruits with their heads down, and like they were the ones on the field that lost that day. And that is credit to Hugh Freeze and his staff. They have made these recruits feel like they're part of it. Okay? They feel like they are with Auburn when they lose. They felt like they were with Auburn last night when Auburn lost. So that right there is a total difference that I've seen, and I don't know exactly the inner workings and how he's doing it. I do know this. I wrote something a couple weeks ago, and I was making a joke, when Freeze talks to your brother, your mom, your girlfriend, your second cousin twice removed, that ain't really a joke. They're talking to everybody. They're finding every single person, and they genuinely build a relationship with them. Just ask Grandma Willie Riddick. She was just as a big a part as DeMarcus was in that recruitment. They talked to her. They talked to her just as much as they talked to DeMarcus.
Boy, I got me a good hug with Grandma Willie.
Boy, she's fired up, son.
I bet she was. I can answer this in 2 words: effort and emphasis. Do you remember at the same point 2 years ago, 2021 Iron Bowl, we go into 2 overtimes against Alabama with, the prior regime, and you come out of that game and you think you're going to have all kinds of momentum, right? And it really just never materialized for Brian Harsin and that staff. Just really never kind of came about. With this group, you've already laid all the groundwork that you need to coming into a game like this, a statement type game. And now you're just going to build upon it. And that's the difference, is effort and emphasis that they put on the recruiting trail. And it's as simple as that.
Hey, I wanted to talk about the Javarius Johnson drop he's talking about in the back of the end zone just real quick, because Edward touched on it as well. I'm in full agreement with Edward. That, to me, was the call. If I'm going to disagree with anything in this game, that's the main thing. I don't think you ever throw that football. You have got to keep it on the ground and find a way to score in that situation. And not only did that throw stop a little bit of your momentum, it also stopped the clock. So 2 things right there that couldn't happen on that drive. And then you didn't score a touchdown. You squandered 6. You got 3. It was a huge turning point.
Zach, keep us going, big dog.
Anthony, you're live, man.
There we go.
Hey.
Fellas. Zach, keep us going. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
How y'all doing tonight?
Hanging in there, man.
What's on your mind, Anthony? Talk to us, big dog.
I don't want to talk about the game.
I hear you, man.
Talk about the transfer portal.
All right.
I don't even want to talk about it. It was a great atmosphere. The whole day was electric, but that was just heartbreaking.
Yep.
Like, demoralizing. I don't know if y'all can tell my voice gone. It's just it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot to handle. I don't even know last time I cried, but I almost shed a tear after that.
I hear you.
But with the portal opening in a week time, is there a situation where a quarterback enters the portal and he wants to come to Auburn and he commits before the bowl game, and that puts everything in limbo as far as the guys on the roster? Could that affect the bowl game? Because those guys might jump in the roster. Let's say some a stud jump in there, and Payne Thorne know that this guy coming here to start. You see a scenario where Hank Brown, if starting the bowl game, if Robin might leave or Holding during the league, and that's all I want that.
Whew.
Good question, Anthony. Appreciate your call, big dog.
That is a great question, actually.
Jeffrey, what do you think?
Explain the question a little bit more. Is he saying like a guy transfers in and is on the team and plays in the bowl game?
He's just saying a transfer portal quarterback commits, and Peyton Thorne knows, like, hey, man, this guy's here to take my spot. Do I go ahead and jump in the portal myself and not play in the bowl game? Do I ride it out? How does that affect the roster composition?
I don't think Hugh Freeze would take a commitment. When's the bowl game? December 26th?
All depends.
26th, 27th.
Yeah.
He won't do that. He's smarter than that.
Did we already get our bowl game? Do we know where we're going?
No, but let's just say
Selection Sunday is next like at this time we'll know our bowl game because it's after the conference championships.
Okay.
6-6 team. You're expecting it to be fairly early in the.
Yeah. We'll probably be one of the like earliest SEC bowl games.
Yeah,
I would think so. Hopefully, Music City. Hopefully, we can get past the Birmingham Bowl this year.
In the situation that let's just hypothetically say that would happen, right? I have now talked to Peyton Thorne in a roundtable interview setting several times. After adversity, maybe after he was getting switched in and out with Robbie Ashford, or maybe after the loss to New Mexico State. And my takeaway, and this is just my opinion, the dude's resilient, okay? He's got a lot of those good qualities that you want personality-wise to be able to bounce back from anything. I think he'd be okay if that situation were to happen.
I agree.
And also, you don't know how that'll play out because you don't know who's going to leave from the quarterback room yet. You don't know exactly. That whole thing is just a crapshoot right now.
Yeah, it's
Keeps going, Zach.
4295. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from?
Hey, fellas. This is Wardan Eagle in Texas. How are y'all?
Wardan.
Very good.
what's up, buddy?
Oh, just trying to recover a little bit. Right. But I think it's heading that way, man. I tell you, I'm an optimistic guy in general, and I think that was really hurting the moment, but where we're headed, I just gotta say, I think it's bright, man. Cole, I gotta tell you, I think your take on Peyton Thorne, it kind of mirrors where Auburn's at, right? Learning about itself, doing things sometimes that it shouldn't, failing in ways, but also growing and kind of, I think, heading the right way, stock kind of going up. And I think your take on Peyton Thorne being QB1 next year, if somebody comes in and takes that role, they're going to have to really take it. He ain't going to give it away. And I think he's coming into his own. Anyway, just want to say that take I thought was so good. But fellas, it's Triple D hunting season. Y'all been hunting Triple D's?
I did that in college.
I knew Jeffrey would say something like that.
I'm more of a double D guy myself, to be honest with you.
We're looking for dudes, dogs, and difference makers. That's what we're looking for.
Okay.
And I think we're going to get some. I'm pretty excited about that. Y'all almost answered my question just a minute ago, but I wanted to know what y'all thought. Where are we going to go in a bowl? What are the possibilities? And does it feel to y'all like that's a really big game for us this year? Because it's been so long since we've won one, and we need to get a W on the scoreboard. I'll listen.
Absolutely, Dan. Appreciate your call, big dog. Bowl game's biggin'.
Huge.
Look, you had an opportunity 2 years ago when you played Houston, the Birmingham Bowl. It's the Birmingham Bowl, whatever. But you could have seized some momentum right there. And instead, you walked away flat and you went into an even more miserable offseason. And obviously, it spiraled from there. This is an opportunity for Auburn to reward its seniors. Look, guys like Jalen Simpson that have been laying it on the line for 5 years, man, send them out the right way. Marcus Harris, guys that are preparing for the NFL draft that want that last victory with their boys, man. And not only that, what does it do? We talk about it all the time. It is messaging and creating your own narrative of upward trajectory. And look, let's be honest here. 7-6 just floats better to your fan base than 6-7. It just does.
Absolutely.
So what are the options here? Is there still the Shreveport Bowl or whatever the hell that thing was called? I know the Birmingham Bowl is probably the most likely.
Most of the projections actually have us going to the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Yep, in Charlotte.
It's Duke.
Against Duke?
Or I've seen Miami as well. That's another option.
Yeah,
I don't have an ACC team in the Mayo Bowl because I think it's SEC versus ACC, if I'm not mistaken. So it'll probably be Duke, Miami, or one of those teams.
And then your Music City Bowl in Nashville is your SEC versus Big Ten.
Yep.
And you're looking at possibly
Minnesota or Wisconsin, I think.
Wisconsin, of course.
Yeah. The other one, Auburn, Oklahoma State, and the Texas Bowl is the other projection.
Okay.
You remember back in the day, Shreveport, whatever since Shreveport was like the Birmingham Bowl or the OG Birmingham Bowl. What was it?
It was because didn't Bama play in it?
Yeah,
it's the Independence Bowl, the
Independence Bowl
or Liberty,
Independence Weed Whacker Bowl, man.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State though, that running back they have, Ollie Gordon that would not be a good matchup for our defense.
Well,
all those teams sound like it'd be a great game on paper. Like you're talking about drawing some attention. That Auburn, Miami, Auburn, Duke, Auburn, Wisconsin, Minnesota.
Especially because the chat's about to explode because Elko just got announced as the new head coach at A&M, so they all think Riley Leonard's coming here. So if Auburn Duke played in the Mayo Bowl, that would be an
underlying story.
I would heed caution, by the way, because last night it was a done deal with Mark Stoops. Okay,
this was done and announced.
Yeah, that
was leaked.
Oh, it's already out. I missed it.
Yeah, it's out. So as far as coaching carousel news today, obviously Mississippi State hired their head coach, Jeff Lebby.
Yeah.
Texas A&M has hired their coach in Mike Elko. those are done on the board. And then Houston opened up when they fired my favorite scumbag.
Dana.
Yeah, man.
Dana Holders.
And then down Indiana fired old Cuz and old Ruzix.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom Allen, man.
Tom Allen.
The nicest guy ever.
UL Monroe fired what's his name?
Terry
Oh yeah, Terry Bowden.
Yeah, but his option was like either retire or get fired, man. And the stump decided to get fired. You know what I mean? I guess he wanted to stay out.
Tater.
Tater.
All right, Zach, keep us going, big dog. Let's get some.
1973. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Cameron from Watonka.
What's up,
Cameron?
Bring it on.
I just wanted to start by saying something and then ask a question. If that's all right.
Sounds great.
I wanted to say, I think that Auburn had one of the best. We had one of the best outcomes from this game. I mean, being able to keep the crowd in it for that long, many people probably predicted that might be not so close. Being able to keep these recruits and fans in this is big, and I'm upset with how it ended. But if it ends where they have to get a push off in the end zone to just make a beautiful catch to win that game, I think that there's a lot of selling points our staff can push to recruits. Mm-hmm. And at the end of I ate this L very fast because I was just thinking like how well this will be for Auburn at the end of the day, to be able to sell like, hey, we just need you. We just need you on this side of the ball to open up this game a little bit more. So I thought that it was a great game all the way around. Upset with the outcome, but it is probably one of the better outcomes that we could have had.
Absolutely.
And, I also just wanted to ask a question. What do you guys think that you have better intel than some of the recruits on the field? I know that some of the recruits will come out and say, like, Perry Thompson will give some vague post about in due time or just wait or something like that, and like with a picture of Ryan Williams and Perry Thompson and Cam Coleman. Is that anything to read from, or are they just trying to recruit and trying to put that out there for everybody? I appreciate you guys and all the work you did this weekend.
Appreciate you, Cam. Good stuff, man. It's a valid question. I'm actually glad somebody said, because I think it was a week or two ago, Perry puts out like the bat signal.
Yeah.
And
that is a good question.
Nothing happened.
And Walker White had the hoodie with all the names on the back that he wore to the game, which was so creative, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And then today, Cole, what does Bryce Kane tell you?
Bryce Kane, he said,
I know something that you don't.
I know something that y'all don't. That's how he ended it. He dropped the mic. So that was that was very interesting.
Here's the thing, Cam. What I've learned is that they think they do, but they really don't. Now, sometimes. Now, listen, if it's really important to keep quiet, they're not going to know about it because they're the worst at keeping secrets. They want everybody to know that they know something, just like Bryce Kane did today, just like Perry Thompson did 2 weeks ago. They're awful at keeping secrets. So, recruits might, like Cam Coleman was like, yeah, man, I'm, really thinking about coming here, something like that. Perry puts up the bat signal. I mean, don't read too much into those things. Sometimes they do. Don't get me wrong, but most of the time they're getting ahead of themselves.
I would say that I agree with all of that. I do think they might probably find out about a commitment before we do at times, because it's obviously relayed to the class. Hey, we just got,
Sure. And they got their own group chat and the whole nine. You know what I mean? That like on the trend. So,
and in this case, it's very interesting to me because we know and we see Perry Thompson hanging out with Ryan Williams and hanging out with Cam Coleman every time we see them. So they talk. It ain't like they don't talk. There's, I look at that and I go, well, they definitely know each other. But, there might be a peer pressure thing there where they're like, "Are you coming here?" And they're like, "Yeah, I'm coming here." And then they have to make a business decision at the end of the day.
And then they get home and it's like, oh, dude, I was just caught up in the moment, man. Chill out.
Yeah.
Or they
But
take their
but I-
next sit and get
Yeah, exactly. Now they're going to commit to Clemson. Yeah, I hear you. Hey,
Yeah.
Kim, that's a great question, and I'm glad it was asked, and I'm glad we were able to address it. But good stuff,
By the
man.
way,
We appreciate
that
you.
was a really. I liked the rhythm of that call. Give us something real quick. Question.
Give us your 2 cents. Throw in a question if you've got one. If not, throw the deuces up. Holla back.
But take your time. Give us your point.
Yeah.
3366. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from?
This is Chris from Valley, Alabama. First time caller, actually in TJ Maxx right now shopping in Birmingham.
I hear you, brother.
Well, it's been frustrating, as an Auburn fan all these years. You have, this is probably one of the hardest losses to Alabama. I mean, well, in general for Auburn football. But I think this probably takes the place of the national championship game against Florida State.
Yeah.
And probably the Final Four for Auburn basketball. But I'm proud of the players. They played hard going into the game. I didn't even think we'll be close. You just didn't have that hope after the New Mexico State game.
Sure.
But the way they played, they put everything out on the field. And just to have that hope and then to have it pulled away from you at the last second, it's tough. But Hugh Freeze has this team going in the right direction, and he's recruiting his butt off. And I think in the next several years, I think we're going to pull these wins out, and we're going to have something special. I really do believe that. But just disappointed with the loss, but we have a really bright future. So anyways, I hope you guys have a good night, and I appreciate it, y'all.
Good stuff, Chris. We appreciate that call, man.
Yes.
Definitely.
Check out that luggage at TJ Maxx. They always got some good deals on some good luggage.
Good service. Good service in TJ Maxx.
No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, better service than some people got at the house. That
that came through pretty clear.
Yeah, 6609. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from?
Yeah, this is 896 in Nashville.
896.
896 in Nashville. It's a code name, man.
Okay.
I want to say something stupid.
You need to code that tone down a little bit, big dog.
Oh,
I just want to say, hey, man, I'm proud of my Tigers. I watched all the modcasts and podcasts, and most of us didn't think we should be in that game. So I was proud that they fought. And I just want to say, I met DJ James's dad at the game in Nashville here in Vanderbilt. Man, he is a great guy, and I hate it for that kid because it's his last season. He was so proud of him, wanting to impress the NFL scouts. And I just want to make sure that the Auburn family knows that we got to be different than all these other teams, man, and show that guy some love.
Absolutely.
I agree.
That's my statement. And then I have one question on recruiting. Is there any intel on Beeman?
Okay, good. I like that. 896.
E96.
E96. Great.
Yeah. E96. All right. So that's like a right field shortstop error.
There you go.
Let's see. Jeremiah Beeman, Cole.
Jeremiah Beeman. I made it when I went to see him at the second round playoff game they had against Oxford. Made it a point to ask him his commitment status, and he said, "I'll have to get back to you on that." I don't know what that means. It was right after a big emotional win. He may not have wanted to talk too much. I don't know exactly. One thing I know for sure is you're not going to find out what Jeremiah Beeman's going to do until he does it. And he likes it that way. So I think it's between Auburn and Alabama. I give Alabama a slight edge right now, but we do have a long way to go until December 20th. And I know how much of a priority he is for Auburn and defensive line coach Jeremy Garrett and Hugh Freeze. And they gotta have, that's what you'd call a money position for this class, because you're losing a lot there, and you didn't have a lot of depth in the first place. So that's got to be addressed, and Jeremiah Beeman helps you address it.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate you call E96.
Oh, let's see. 4940. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Gentlemen, what's going on?
How about you?
How about you, big dog?
How we doing, gentlemen? I got a little bit of a comment first, and then maybe a question if I can.
Who we talking to?
Yeah, what's your name?
I'm gonna make a reference. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll go by R. I'm R Hood on the board. Appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank
All right.
you.
Yes, sir.
Hood.
Do you guys remember when we got Bruce Pearl
Yes.
and we knew we had a guy,
Yeah.
and it didn't turn into wins, but we had a guy, and then everybody's like, "Well, we got a guy." Then we got recruits, and it didn't turn into wins, but we still got a guy. And then we turned into leadership, and then we started winning some games, but it didn't turn into anything. And then we'd get close, but we didn't know how to close the door. And then Bruce taught us how to win basketball. I feel like Auburn football is similar to what we're seeing right now. I think we got a guy, and then we're about to start getting recruits. And then we're going to teach these young men how to win. And I'm happy about what's going on and where we're at. We just, we've got to go through the steps to kind of get there. And I feel like we're in good hands.
Wow. I like it, R Hood. I don't think anybody watched that game yesterday and was like, man, I just don't know if I hired the right guy.
There's a few, but look, I think 90%.
There are always a few.
Yeah, I've already seen you in the chat over here. But no,
for real?
Oh yeah, but 90% of the fan base is taking this loss. I'm proud of them. I think they're taking it pretty well. Boy, heartbreaker. Absolute. Sure. Couldn't be worse on that end. But they're taking it well, and it's because they're excited. And Hugh Freeze was probably scared to death of expectations after he signed that portal class. Because the reason I put a warning on the board, hey, portal season's coming, get ready. Because it was like, all right, Monday, boom, somebody commits. Tuesday, somebody's visiting. Wednesday, commit.
New offer. Visit.
It was going like that, and it could be that way again. I expect it to. So that just, with every commit from the portal, expectations just rose and rose and rose and rose. And I don't blame you. My expectations rose. But as Hugh Freeze in his first year looking at all the holes in his roster, he's scared to death of that. And he should have been. And that's why he believed the margin of error was so small all year.
Mm.
So he is trying his very best to do what he believes is the right move in year one, and that's recruiting, building the roster. Everybody likes to make comparisons with, stars and saying, hey, Alabama had all these stars when they won this game, and they had all these stars when they won this championship, and Georgia, it's the stars. Well, look at Texas. Texas 5-7 in their first year with Steve Sarkisian. He put an emphasis on recruiting, started bringing in big-time players, and look at them now.
Mm-hmm. All right, R Hood. Appreciate you, big dog.
1370. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from? 1370. You're live.
Hey, gentlemen.
Hey,
George, Nashville. How y'all doing?
Who was it?
Lord George.
LG.
LG.
Get in here, LG. It's been a while, man.
Man, what a difference a week makes.
Oh, true that.
Understatement of the year there.
I earlier this year watching Bama play, I was like, man, I think we can get them.
Yeah.
but I'm glad we played them now where they're at as sort of a barometer, a measuring stick, because I think, whatever. I hate them, but I think you got to respect at the same time. I mean, the Milrow kid, he threw a laser. That was a missile. Yeah, I think they made some mistakes, obviously, but as far as a barometer and measuring stick of where the program's at, where the kids are at, saw people saying that, these kids don't have a fight in them. They don't have a dog in them. I tell Nehemiah Pritchett that. Stop Milrow yard short. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, again, frustrated at times, but damn, I don't know what you just have to kowtow to those kids and the staff for putting that together and that environment together. You guys were there. I wasn't able to make it down, but from all the reports, and thank you for all the reporting that you guys did. But I mean, if that's not a shrine to possibility, I don't know what else is. But I'm always in Cole's ear about offensive and defensive line stuff. That's where it all hinges, or at least that's what I'm told. So just looking at recruiting wise, what we could be looking to next year with either the class, maybe, who knows? We had Falk and Lou play as freshmen. Is that a possibility with any of these kids, or will it be a little more experienced? That's sort of the question that I had for you guys. Thanks again.
Appreciate you, LG. A shrine to possibility. Well said.
Yeah, I like that.
The conference has been locked.
Lock it down. All right. So let's see. So Kay and Lee, Keldrick Falk, who are those guys a year from now?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think there's a lot of them.
I think Ryan Williams, Cam Coleman, both. I mean, no, I'm just kidding.
Terry Thompson. Yeah.
Terry Thompson.
Yeah, on the current commit list, I can see several guys. I mean, guys you may not even be thinking about right now. First, you're rebuilding your secondary now. DJ James, Nehemiah Pritchett, Zion Puckett, probably Jalen Simpson. All these guys are going to be moving on. Kinsley Faustin is a guy who continues to impress me. Can he play early? TJ Lindsey on the defensive front. I see that guy he's already built like it. He's just built for it already.
I'm sure
there's guys like this littered all through this recruiting class that I'm impressed with it. I think there's a lot of good players. Jamonte Waller.
Yes.
Gonna play.
He specifically asked offensive and defensive line. So to me, I'll give you one current commit and one potential commit, and that is on the offensive line. DeAndre Carter is going to be able to play early. I really think he's going to be able to contribute early.
Nice.
And Cohen Eccles, if you get that commitment, is a kid that could play early as well. He's that advanced, technically speaking. I honestly believe he can step out there back end of his freshman year and contribute if you really need him to.
Yeah, Jhead, real quick, I don't mean to cut you off. People have asked about it. People love comparisons. Who does this guy remind you of? Who's this guy remind you of? Cohen Eccles reminds me of Connor Lew. I think they're very similar players.
I wouldn't disagree with that, except I think Cohen's probably a little bigger at this stage, a little more girth. But no, as far as how advanced they are with using their hands, the way they play with leverage, everything, the strength, you see it all right there. And then from the defensive line, I like TJ Lindsey in this class. I think he's a kid that can play early. I really do.
I will say this. We talked to Malik Blockton today and several others as they were leaving on their official visits. And off the record, Malik Blockton said, I'm going to find a way to help in that Iron Bowl next year.
You like that mentality?
He's determined, guys. He had a message to Auburn fan. That's how I led with the title of that story. But, man, I enjoyed talking to Malik. He's really looking forward to being able to contribute, and I think he can. I mean, there's going to be a lot of young guys playing on that defensive front next season.
Yeah, I'm excited about him. I really am. All right, Zach, keep us going, big dog.
1740. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Hey guys, this is Eric Mack from River one more time.
Eric Mack.
Eric Mack.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How y'all doing this evening?
Eric Mack from Little River.
Doing good, buddy. Doing good.
Eric, bring that phone a little closer, brother. Make sure you're clear there.
About now.
A little better.
That'll work. That'll work. Go for it.
Okay, man. I just I was actually impressed, man. I was so down and out about the New Mexico State game that I went hunting and basically pretty much just said the hell with the Iron Bowl, and I shot it in back and turned the game on, and it was 24-21, and I was just like, I couldn't believe what I was looking at. So, excuse me, I actually went back and watched the game after that, and was really impressed with the play calling, and all except for the, the 4th and 32 or the 4th and 31 or what it was. I don't see how you can rush 2 and drop 8 or what have you, and leave the guy open.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand that, but anyway, other than that, I was really impressed with the break. It looked like a different team out there again. So I'm excited about what we got coming next year, man. And I'm going to try to be a little bit more optimistic, and just want to give you all a shout out, man. Love what y'all are doing. I watch y'all as much as I can.
Yeah, appreciate you, Eric Mack.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Hey, real quick, I know hindsight 2020 or whatever it's called. Is that Pat Dye or what is it? Hindsight's 50-50?
Hindsight's 50 is what Pat said. Yeah.
Okay. But I think Eric was. A lot of people thought, listen, if you're going to rush 3 and you're going to have 8, you can't have a one-on-one matchup somewhere. You just can't. Right. That's unacceptable.
I think, and I haven't really gone back and watched the play yet, but I think they were in a 3-man. Is that what you saw?
Yeah, they had 3 guys playing the deep thirds, and then 3 guys underneath as man. So everyone should have been at least double covered. What happened is, when Bond broke in, kind of like a post right, it looked like it was just going to be a jumbled Hail Mary. Puckett just got too aggressive, turned his back, and darted in. And when Bond kicked out, it was just him and DJ one-on-one.
Let's not talk about that anymore.
Don't get Jeffrey fired up again, bro. Look at him. He's still mad.
Well, that was the second time they messed up that deep third coverage. Because if you remember that touchdown play,
you're right.
DJ James let him go behind him.
Yes.
He was playing zone. He was going to sit in the zone, and Puckett came flying downfield like he was on a blitz or something. And there was
got sucked in.
There was no deep third safety, and it was just at that point.
I think they might have been in quarters or something on that play too, and that's where DJ James is supposed to be dropping. Puckett wasn't dropping too much either, so.
Someone messed up their assignment. Someone was supposed to drop to the deep third, and no one dropped to the deep third on that one.
And that's just and guys, that's just us looking at it. And from an outsider standpoint, we don't know what they're told. We don't know what the coaching point is. All of this stuff. So there's really not a way that we can blame anybody. We can just look at it and assess it the way that we can without knowing all those answers. And if it's a 3-man, then that safety's got to be over there in that third of the field. And
Hugh even mentioned it was blown coverage at halftime. He said, "Hey, we blew that. We can't do that." All right, let's keep going, big dog. I think we're almost caught up, Zach.
Yeah, almost there. 2176. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
How you guys doing?
Ups and downs, highs and lows. Who we talking to?
Hey, this is Chris. This is Chris from Helena. How you guys doing?
Chris from Helena?
Yes.
All right, cool. What's up, Chris?
I don't have I know Tanner was a special teams. It is a special teams coach, and he was supposed to relay that to Coach Freeze about Coy going in. But don't you think Tanner should have told Coy, I know you're cold. You're going out there right now. Don't go near that ball. Get away from it. Don't touch it, because no matter where it bounces, it's going to be Auburn's ball. And then plus, if it wasn't except for the Vanderbilt and Arkansas game, do y'all get the sense that Batty think he can run every ball out the end zone for a touchdown, and he keep putting us in bad situations?
I wondered if he knew that you get it on the 25, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, every
I
time
think his
in the end
kickoff
zone,
returns were
it seemed like
probably
he came out of
minus
the end
50.
zone. I'm like, come on, dude, stay in the end zone. What are you doing?
I hear you. Now, at the same time, you're
Yeah,
never going to score a touchdown
it's
if you
one
get a
thing when we
touchback.
ran for Arkansas. Every game he catches the ball and runs it out, he puts the offense in a bad situation, and it just seems that way. I don't know. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong, but it just seems like stop it. Somebody needs to tell him, keep your ass in that end zone.
Hey,
If the ball
listen.
goes off your head, that's it.
Chris, I definitely understand what you're saying, man. Let me just say this, and this is a valuable lesson that I've learned in doing analysis. Because guess what? When you do analysis, you piss people off sometimes. As part of the job, it's difficult to blame somebody in these situations because you don't know if that's Batee making that decision or if that's, hey, we are very confident in our
aggressive. We're going to be aggressive today.
Yeah, in our
I don't
kicker
care where you
wall.
are, catch that bitch and run.
Yeah, because you might break one, and that could be the game, right? That's how they look at it.
I'm going to ask you about two quarterbacks that may go in the portal real quick and give me your analysis. I'll hang up and listen. Is that Malik Murphy from Texas and Riley Leonard of Duke? And I'll hang up and listen.
All right. Appreciate you, Chris. Yeah, but real quick on that, I was wondering, 25-yard line if he stays in the end zone, and he ran maybe 4 or 5 out. I don't know that he made it to the 15 or 20. I think he made it past the 20. I was wondering if it was a minus probably 30 or 40-yard difference if he had just – But like Joel said, I hear you, man. You can't score. You can't run one back if you don't run it out of the end zone.
If you're talking about the one after Alabama scored and Auburn got a possession and they kicked it off, if you're talking about that one,
they got to the 12.
You got to do it because there ain't no way your offense is fixing to score.
I hear you.
No.
I hear you.
Especially with how they struggle to throw the football. You went and recruited an All-American kick returner. You're taking your chances with that.
You take exactly.
Right on. I hear you. I listen. There were a lot of things I'm gonna gripe about. That was not one of them. Although that was probably a note I took down during the game.
You also can't get a face mask penalty if you don't run it back out the end, or you just don't get one anyway.
I was gonna say you can't get one anyway.
Yeah.
Damn, that was bad, wasn't it?
Oh, brother,
Auburn got called for a penalty on that same play. It just
Yeah.
so much worse.
Hey, you know it's bad when the CBS announcers are like, "That's bullshit right there." I don't know who you are. That's bullshit.
Right.
The second part was the two Malik Murphy, I believe, from Texas, is in the transfer portal, and did he?
He's
there-
not.
He's not.
He's
Okay.
not.
Neither of those guys have entered the portal yet. They're just assuming they are going to.
Yeah, I wouldn't waste too much time on talking about guys that.
Got nothing on that. Sorry.
Right. When they enter, we'll have something for them.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. It would be interesting if either one of those two guys entered the portal. We'll say that.
And it wouldn't just be Auburn that would be targeting those.
Oh,
guys.
no.
You have a lot of programs coming after those guys.
Yep.
8210. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up, boys? It's JM. I'm from Birmingham.
What's up, JM from Birmingham?
How we doing tonight?
Fairly well, big dog. How are you?
I'm good. I'm playing some Call of Duty with the boys.
Sweet. Is it mobile or on the
Fatties?
smoking some fatties?
That's our group name. We're the Bowl Cup Baddies.
Oh, bowl cut baddies. I was like, dude, you shouldn't be saying that. All right. Hey, I was getting some cod in before this show, by the way. All right, JM.
Double up in XP. Yeah, I guess my question.
Double up XP. Yeah. You got that kinetic armor, don't you, big dog?
Walker White's obviously made a really good connection with these receivers in the upcoming class. I'm just seeing personally, I think Peyton Thorne is the guy. I think he's going to be the guy for next year as well. I'm just seeing if Peyton Thorne's made any of these connections with a Perry Thompson or Bryce Kane or Malcolm Simmons. Y'all notice anything like that?
I have not.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, it's very possible. I'm sure that they've talked, but I haven't heard anything on that.
And I do want to say this, and this isn't me being contrarian or trying to be a jerk or anything like that. I'm still TBD on if Peyton Thorne's going to be the guy. I know that I said I saw something in him. I did, but I still don't know if he's going to be the guy moving forward.
Oh, yeah. Listen, if there's an option out there that the staff thinks could be better than Peyton Thorne, then yeah, they're going to take a shot on it.
Love to hear it. Oh yeah, that's pretty much it for me, guys. I just wanted to happy to be here with y'all.
Hey, JM, land at the ecology lab, man. There's a lot of kinetic armor in the ecology lab. Playing that battle royale.
We're dropping there next.
All right. I guess you beat all.
I'm out of the loop on that. I hadn't played Call of Duty in years.
Yeah,
Same.
Brooks got me in.
8212. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you
Hang on
calling
for a
from?
second. We just got off the phone with 8210, and now we're talking to 8212. Could this be the sun? Or it's very, very coincidental that we're talking to. We just talked to 8210. Now we're talking to 8212. But go ahead.
Right, especially because they got the same area code too. So
Oh
it's
wow.
very weird. 8212. You're live.
Okay, well, this is Paul from Hartsville. How are y'all doing?
Oh
tonight?
yes,
Paul.
Paul.
How about you, Paul?
Boys, I think 8210 took one of my questions, and for that I'm a little disappointed. But I'll go ahead and ask it in a different way. He talked about Tanner Burns and the situation with Coy Moore. It made me curious. What's I guess the word I'd use is protocol for substitutions, because I feel like in today's football, if your coordinators are upstairs, then they're talking to the position coaches. The position coaches are talking to the different players. And so if there's somebody that can't go, or there's a situation that's come up, it gets relayed that way. But like with special teams, to me, it would be harder to do that, because you've got some players that are on the field on defense, and they're also on special teams. So if they come off and say, "Hey, coach, I can't go," how does that work? Like, what's the protocol in letting the head coach know and that kind of thing?
I have no idea. Go.
Usually the protocol would be to tell him on the headset, "Hey, Keontae is not able to go. What do we need to do?" But you were in a situation there where you can't burn a timeout, and if there's an issue, you got to make a decision. Somebody's got to make an executive decision.
Right.
And I don't know if that's what happened. I don't know exactly what happened in that situation. So I really don't. I can't speculate too much, but that's what would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you got?
What I saw was what Justin reported, and what I had heard is that Keontae was slightly injured on that third down play.
Oh yeah.
It came off the field, let him know that he was, he was having difficulty, and they decided to go with the backup. And like Cole said, you couldn't afford to call a timeout in that situation, so you had to run him out. And for everybody that wants to jump on the coaching staff for putting Coy Moore in the game, Coy Moore's caught punts this year, guys. He caught, like, it's not like he hasn't gone out there and fielded a punt all season. When Keontae Scott was out, Coy Moore was your primary punt returner. Yes, he was going in there cold. That being the case, he knows what to do. Okay, he knows how to fair catch. It was just a situation where the kid misjudged the ball. He slipped. He fumbled. You hate that it happened, and I hate the things that got said about the kid on social media. Like, I think that's completely and utterly just
Lord.
Yeah, insane to me. Some of the things that fans will say sometimes on social media. The kid made an honest mistake. You could tell it. I mean, you could see it all over his face. He wished he had that one back. It's terrible. It happened. You know what I mean? But it was a situation where, as a coaching staff, you make a decision on the fly and you live with it. If a kid tells you he can't go, and you go to the next. It's next man up.
Hey, unfortunately, when you are limited on depth and you're limited on guys that you trust, you have to make a lot of decisions on the fly. That's why you try to get good players, so you can be a little bit more confident in all your decisions.
Mm.
And in the 4th and 31, I'm sorry, Jeffrey. Guess what? The potential of Alabama's playmakers, the guys they've recruited and won recruiting battles for, is what led you to not rushing more than 3. Until Auburn has that, hey, I have playmakers, you better respect them, because nobody respects them right now. Then that's the kind of crap that happens. Okay? I know that Jalen Milroe could probably take this thing to the house. So we got to contain him. That's what they're thinking in that situation. Do they go back and change it if they have another shot? Probably. You have to make a decision on the fly. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying this is the situation you're in a lot of times as Auburn right now. Alabama, they have more confidence in their decisions sometimes because they got more confidence in their players.
Sounds good. Zach, we've got one more?
2 more.
All right, let's close it out big strongly.
Turn it
2800. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
What's up, fellas? This is Garrett Mashburn calling from Auburn University. Actually looking at Jordan-Hare Stadium right now. How are y'all doing?
What's happening, Garrett Mashburn?
Garrett?
Still recovering from the loss yesterday. I still can't process what just happened, but it'll eventually make sense, hopefully one day. But we're still here. I would say the sun rose today, but it was a gloomier.
Yeah, it didn't.
I can't say that, but
It didn't rise.
it's okay. So I just wanted just a quick little backstory, then I'll get to my point, try to make this as quick as possible. So yesterday was my last game as a student here at Auburn. Started my career here my sophomore year. I actually started my college career at University of Tennessee, being from Tennessee. And to make a long story short, I was a COVID graduate in high school, so there was a lot of downtime in between March to starting college and everything. So Auburn kind of came on my radar pretty late in the game, but I'd already kind of finalized, sent everything away to go to Tennessee at that point. But Auburn was always in the back of my mind from a distance, and kind of kept with it throughout the entire year. Actually never took an official campus visit to Auburn. We just kind of came down as a family and walked around, and I knew from the day I stepped on campus here that this place felt like home away from home, and it was lived up to every expectation you always heard from everyone talking about Auburn. And so to make a long story short, fast forward to being here as a senior, yesterday just kind of encapsulated, I think, everything that Auburn is all about. Yesterday, before I met some of my friends in line to go into the game, I just kind of took a stroll around campus, saw the tailgates and where SEC Nation was set up and everything, just by myself to kind of take it all in one last time as a student. And I just think yesterday everything was just so perfect. I think all y'all saw the pictures and the videos of the sky yesterday that CBS had on the broadcast, and just everything from the lead up to the game to the recruits, just everything that went into the game. It was just perfect, and it was such an awesome last game. And it was so funny because I always said the one thing I wanted to do as a college student was storm a field once in my life. So got close to it yesterday, and I thought I could taste it there for a minute, and then I think I'll still see Milroe dropping back and sitting in the pocket, and I think I'll still see that ball float in the air for the rest of my life every time I think about that. So it was it wasn't meant to be, I guess. Today wasn't the day, but I think down the road we'll get our fair share of wins back. Our day, and although I didn't get to experience it as a student, I think I'll see plenty of great things down the road in the future. And I'm so proud of our guys. There was a lot of guys I could rattle off that just played their hearts out yesterday, and I was so proud of some of the guys on the team and coaching staff, recruiting staff that went into. I can't imagine what went into making that happen with all the recruits on campus and everything. And obviously the fans inside the stadium, the student section was the best time ever. I'll remember that day and that game for the rest of my life. It was just so much fun, and the crowd was into it, and it was just awesome. And I think at the end of the day, what I'm trying to get at is everything that went into yesterday and everything that happened, although it ended with a loss, I think that was what Auburn was about. And I think everyone got to see that, whether it was through the TV or in person. It was just a beautiful game, a beautiful day. And I'm so proud to call this place home. So proud to be a student here. And this place means the world to me, and I can't wait to see what's coming in the future. So that was all I had, but I just wanted to share that and hope I can bring a little bit of brightness to a rather dark day yesterday for everyone. So
appreciate you, Garrett. Appreciate you calling in.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you, man. That would have been a good one, but we've got another one to close on, don't we, Zach?
Yes, I believe it's Carter.
Hey,
that's a good one.
Carter, you're live.
Gentlemen, how's it going? I'm glad I could be the last caller.
Yeah, you deserve it, Carter. Bring it on.
I did quite a good bit of yelling yesterday, so
hopefully not at your wife.
But I'm proud of our guys. I just wanted to ask you all, do we have an update on the tight end board? And it seems like Sally Aponga had a real good time, and just wanted to get y'all's thoughts on that, and wanted to check in and see where you think we stand with McCray, and if there's any update there. Ward and Hamilton, guys.
Appreciate your call, Carter. I tell you what, man, one of the more surprising things about yesterday were some of the guys who didn't show.
I agree. With that.
I think I was more surprised by the people who didn't show than the guys who did show. Michael Smith, Kylan Fox. I did not see Kylan Fox there. Did not see Michael Smith. I didn't see. Now this doesn't mean they weren't there. David Eziomume.
Yeah, I didn't see him. Didn't see Kai Bates. Didn't see him.
Kai Bates was not there. KJ Bolden was not there.
Now, Simmons had an update on Fox. He let the coaching staff know they've already set his official visit for December, but he let them know he had a playoff game. Situation just did not work out the way they wanted it to. So that was one where I felt a little bit better. But you're right on the others. Some no-shows that we thought that could be, pivotal pieces in this class.
The Michael Smith one was really that was a big miss or whatever.
I agree. Yeah, that was
Jhead. I interrupted you, dude. What were you saying?
So no, I was just saying that he had Fox. It looks like that there was clear communication. He wasn't going to be able to make, that he's going to come in for an OV. He was still very interested in Auburn, so on and so forth. But I think Carter's question was more to Roger Sally Ponga.
Yeah, Ponga.
Well, he had the pronunciation on point. Carter did just now.
Yeah, he sure did. And I am interested to see where this one goes, because I do think the reviews were relatively positive from my understanding.
Yes. Cole, did y'all talk to him today? After
no, we didn't. He got out of there early, and then
he's at the airport.
We're gonna catch up with him eventually, but he's flying right now.
Yeah, he's going back home.
Yeah.
What was that? Beeman.
I have a little bit of intel on Roger, though. Actually, I mean, I got some word, I guess, before his visit, during his visit, that I don't know if Auburn's gonna. I feel like Oregon might be in the lead here.
Sure.
And I still feel that way after his official visit. Now, I have not talked to him. I haven't talked to anybody else since that official visit took place. I know he put out a tweet today. He retweeted one of Walker White's old tweets, and that kind of got people going a little bit. So there's something to it. I think it's Auburn, Oregon, and we'll know soon on that. But we'll catch up with him.
Definitely, and we'll try to get some better feedback on the inside. Let's
also
see.
The only two commits that didn't make it were Dimitri Nicholas, and I don't even know if he was scheduled, but he wasn't there. And then Jamonte Waller didn't make it, but they let us know, like, we tried to make it, we just couldn't get there.
Sure.
Yeah. LJ McCray, Carter asked about. He's gonna have to visit again before I put any.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
No, I'm losing a little. I guess where I saw that one 2 weeks ago is very different from where I see that one today. Now that may change again in 2 weeks.
Sure.
Like this is the time of the year when things happen, but it's closing time, guys. And you know what I mean? As it is closing time on this show, it's also closing time for these guys on the recruiting trail. And as my old high school football coach used to say, close only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and slow dancing. So you better pull one off, brother.
First dates.
I wonder, LJ McCray and Jeremiah Beeman both fit that 5 technique body.
Yes.
Right. They've got Keldrick Falk, and they're obviously feeling very good about him to play 5 technique. Right?
Yeah.
Deron Reed is still there. He's a guy that could fit there at the 5 technique.
Though I think he's a natural 3, in my honest opinion.
Sure. I'm wondering, do they feel like there's more stock to be put into a nose guard like body or an inside 3 technique type body that they might can find in the portal?
I do.
If that's the case, do they go, let's look at this whole situation, let's look at the big picture, what do we need next year? That 2025 D-line class is really strong. Maybe
that's why I said they may be done on defense. I mean, sure, they're going to take Jeremiah Beeman if he wants to flip.
Right.
You know, they would take KJ Bolden if he wants to flip. But other than that, I don't have anybody that I see in this class, defensive wise.
Right. You got targets, like you said, LJ and Jeremiah. You're going to go after both of those because those are top end guys. If you can get them, great. If you can't,
so what?
Yeah, exactly. So what? Juice and Kai Bates. You know what I mean? You're going to go after them. If you get them, great. If you don't, so what? KJ, same way. You know what I mean? You got like 5 targets on defense right now that you're going to sell out on. If you get them, fantastic. If you don't, you're looking into the portal for solutions.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Completely agree.
Offense, completely different story. You
Absolutely.
got, man, tight end, wide receiver, offensive line, got to close.
Yeah,
Running
mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm okay with us not closing on a running back in this
Sure.
class. I honestly am. I mean, you're coming back 5 deep.
Yeah, and you're looking pretty good for Alvin Henderson.
Absolutely. I like it. A couple of wide receivers, a couple of offensive linemen going to the portal for the tight end, obviously. Going to the portal for all the holes that are left to be filled after December 20th. We still got February signing day. We've got guys like the Hawaii kid, Ricky Preston. Is that his name? Rustin
Young.
Rustin
Young.
Young.
Could visit, and there's guys like that they can add in that February signing period. Maybe after the portal kind of clears up.
Oregon Smith, and it's not Oregon Smith. Oregon State did lose their head coach yesterday. Jonathan is now at Michigan State. Rustin Young committed to Oregon State. So my guess is that one's significantly more open now than it was.
Man, there's going to be a lot of twists and turns. We feel like we've got a good grasp on this, but man, you know how this shit goes, dude. You know it. Next week, who knows what's going on. But we're going to try to do our best and keep everybody up to date as much as we can. We'll be back Wednesday with the recruiting show. I totally forgot the best realtor in Auburn, Opelika.
Yes.
Hey, give her a call now. It's not too late. Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group, Auburn, Opelika, Lee County. She is a 5-star realtor. Give her a call with the Talents Group, 334-704-4442. She can find the house that you want. She can get rid of the one that you no longer want. She is the help that you need to get you through that process. Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group, 334-704-4442. Tell her we sent you.
Jeffrey,
Right,
I'm sending somebody Jessica's way here soon.
Do it, big dog.
There you go.
Do it, big dog. Hey, fantastic show. Thought it would be. Had some great callers. Cole finally got on there with us. So, Kid, Ace from Twitter, Anthony Montgomery, Ward Dan, Texas, Ward Amigo, Texas. Let's just go through them real quick. Cam from Wetumpka. Chris from Valley had that great service, and TJ Mash, he was scoring on some luggage up there. Remember, E96 had to check his tone, didn't he?
Yeah, coming in a little hot.
He was coming in real hot.
It's a code name.
He wasn't playing. I thought, yes, sir. Yeah, E96.
Hey, all right, yeah.
Our Hood was there. LG with the. I thought the quote of the night: "Shrine to possibility." That's exactly what that Iron Bowl was.
I agree.
Very fantastic call, Eric Mack. I think he was slaughtering deer during the Iron Bowl. Glad, and then I think he said he was shot a deer or something. And he checked the score.
He was checked out, I think is what he was trying to say, because he said, I'm going to be more positive.
Yeah. I liked it, man. Chris from Helena, JM from Birmingham, I believe. And then Paul, JM was playing COD. Yeah, go hit that ecology lab, JM. Paul from Hartsville, always great. Garrett Mashburn had a deer Facebook, if I've ever heard one. And then old Carter finishing this off strong. Fantastic show, man. I love this show. I love our fan. I love the callers. It's a lot of fun, man. We love being able to do this for you each week. If you haven't already, go check out Auburn Live on 3. We've got a special this week. It's a silly season sale. That's what you're calling it. I don't know. but it's 50% off the annual subscription, which is like $4 a month if you do it all up front, or you can still hit that $1 for the first month. And go to Auburn Live and check us out. We'll be having updates all throughout the week. All three of us will be back Wednesday. And then, of course, despite the season being over, we'll be here next Sunday as well. Everybody game with that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Hey, thanks everybody for listening. Thanks everybody for watching. We all really appreciate you, man. For Cole, for Jhead, for Zach in the back, I'm Jeffrey Lee, man. Y'all stay at that left lane. See ya.